Are we talking or are we doing a podcast?
Let's do it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Calvary Chapel Salmon podcast. Back at it again with Hagen Miller, Josh Madany. I'm Jordan Schaefer. We have almost returned from our Philadelphia mission trip.
That's right. We're pre-recording this with Jordan David Schaefer and Joshua David Madany.
Wow.
Is our both our middle names David?
David.
A couple of JDs in the room.
Huh? We could have both gone by JD.
But look at you.
But we decided, no, that'd be silly. That'd be ridiculous. Yeah, I'm sure we're having a great time in Philadelphia. I'm sure we haven't lost any kids. I'm sure it's going well. And we're going
we can't wait to be home.
Wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, tomorrow morning.
I have a theory that we're going to actually not sleep at all that night.
And just go to the airport.
Have you seen the things I've been sending you on Instagram
Yeah,
about the TSA lines?
I have not been seeing that, but it's been bad. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, and like certain places are way worse, but I could see Philadelphia
being very bad.
So it literally people are waiting like 5 hours, and it's like, well, it's pointless to sleep and get up even earlier. We might as well just be sure we get through TSA and then sleep at the airport. But we'll see what happens.
I'm not against that idea.
Yeah,
because at some point you much rather just stay up than
go to bed and wake up again.
Yeah.
Because then you could wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and you don't want that.
Yes.
Man.
Yeah, my grandma's been sending me stuff on that too on Facebook. That's bad, the TSA. Because they don't want to pay the ICE officers, so they're going to not pay the TSA people either. So that makes a lot of sense.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Because the government's temporarily shut down, or partially shut down.
When is it not shut down?
Yeah.
It's always shut down.
So yeah, the Democrats say, we'll reopen it, but we want to negotiate the ICE thing. And the Republicans say no. So it's a stalemate. I'm just waiting.
Why is it only shut down when it feels like it's only shut down when
you want to travel?
Yes. Or when the Republicans are like the ones in power. Like, why can't we ever shut it down when the Democrats are in power?
I don't know. Well, it shuts down because they never get the budget.
Yeah,
they don't agree on the budget. So then it's like it has to shut down. And I don't blame these TSA people per se. It's like they're I mean,
sure, yeah,
every time they're going to get back pay, but it's like, why would I work if you're not paying me? This is the second pay period where you're not paying me. Forget about it.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. It's like, I get it.
Yeah. I was working at Burger King and they just said, yeah, just come in and we'll pay you later. It's like, no.
Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not.
But do we really even need TSA, Jordan?
Some would argue, you would argue, that we shouldn't have it.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it is an interesting thing. Well, I'm sure the weather right now is pretty great. It's supposed to be a little rainy in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a big storm, so
cold and rainy.
Hopefully it wasn't too bad. We'll be praying that it's not. But yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be super sunny when we return. Summer's already gonna be here. You know, I was thinking, I was kind of cleaning my shed, or not my shed, my shop, my workshop, you know. And I was looking at my sleds, and I said, Jordan, you didn't go sledding one time this winter.
Wow.
And I was pretty sad about that.
Did you sled, Josh?
Not this winter.
Yeah, it was kind of a lame winter.
Wow.
Like now that's basically almost over. It's just like, no sledding.
But you did ski.
I did ski.
Did you get your ski pass?
No, you know, I was really thinking and praying about that. And it's just like $500 for a whole year, including March, is not bad at all. But it's like, when am I going to have this baby? I'm going to have it. Yeah, okay. Not a surprise. But if my child's born.
Are you dropping something? You've never said this on the podcast,
yeah, I know,
don't think.
But it's just like, it's related. This is connected. So I had this baby in August.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then it's
congratulations.
Thank you, Hagen. Josh, do you have something you want to say?
No, does it look like it?
Well, Jordan.
But it's just like, I'm going to have this newborn, so I'm not going to have time to go skiing. At least for that first year.
Yeah.
So it's like, don't pay $500 now. Don't ski this year.
Save it, let it build interest, and then...
Someone was, our people we like to listen to, they were saying, this is a very interesting idea. I want to hear your opinion. It's like if we just...
Pat Gray?
Yeah. If we just, like, invested $100 billion, we would never have to collect taxes again. I was like, wait. If we just, if the government invested this money, they would make the money on the interest, and then they could just fund the government that way.
Yeah.
That's such an interesting thing.
Yeah.
So like we can just kind of, but like that's different than printing your own money,
Right.
Because you're investing into like businesses.
Yeah.
And it's like, huh. But could like U.S. businesses even handle $100 billion?
I could handle it. I'll take 1 billion, honestly.
Yeah, and so like people would spend way more, right? If they didn't have any taxes. So I guess like I don't know. That's just such an interesting idea. It's like we can just fund ourselves if we had the gumption to do that.
Yeah, and I think they were talking about state first. They were talking about
Sure.
Florida
Oh, yeah,
and Texas
state, yeah,
doing
it
it
would
for
be
state
state
income
level.
tax.
But why doesn't any country do that? Why doesn't that country just say we're going to?
I think maybe like the UAE or Saudi Arabia, they do not have taxes like we do because they get so much off of oil, and they even pay people to be there.
Sure.
Well, and that's like Alaska does that too, don't they? They pay
They
their
might do
residents money to live there
Wow.
because of the resources that their state makes.
Sure. Well, this would be even different than that. This would just be like the money. We just have this some large sum of money. We invest in the stock market. Like, why doesn't Germany just take a bunch of money, invest in the U.S. stock market, and all the interest they make, they use that to run their country?
Well, I hope that's illegal for foreign governments
Why?
to invest in our stock market.
Why?
Because when you're investing
You
in
can
stocks,
control
you're not
things.
just it equals control as well, not just
Well,
money.
then would the U.S. government control these? Well, they already do. So.
I think it should be illegal for
Governments.
non-U.S. Entities to buy land in America, but I don't think that's true right now, which is
No.
insane.
Yeah. Well, yeah, China owns a lot. But that's insane. You know, it reminds me of what's going on in Canada right now with these iced coffee commercials. There's this iced coffee company.
Where'd you hear about this?
Ninjas are butterflies.
Okay,
So, you know, it's
I've just
legit.
never heard it, but from you, so I wasn't sure.
No, it's legit. It's legit. This is important. There's this in one of the big Canadian cities that like speaks French a lot. French a lot. Montreal or something like that. And there's like a lot of that. If you advertise in English, you have to have a version of advertising in French. You have to. You can't just advertise in English. Like every single commercial, everything you do in English has to have something in French. And so they have a TikTok account where they're advertising their iced coffee in English because that's how everyone speaks. No one speaks French anymore. But they're getting fined by the government for not speaking French. It's like, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
It's just like... And we're the bad guys for wanting people to speak English.
But if that's the rule and you don't like it, then you could move.
Sure. Yeah, they should. But it's just like we don't make people. we don't say you can't speak Spanish. We just say you have. We don't even say this. We just want people to be able to understand English. They're saying you can't speak English. You have to use French. If someone wants to advertise in Spanish in America, go for it.
You just won't know what they're saying.
He'll reach all these Hispanics, and it's great. If you want to do the Super Bowl halftime performance in Spanish, you can do that.
And a dress.
And he didn't wear a dress. That was all fake news.
No.
Maybe underneath. We don't know.
I heard.
That's interesting. But it's just like, yeah, it's just like freedom of speech is like, we just want people to speak English, but you can speak whatever you want. Just know how to speak English.
Yeah, that's hard.
This is hard.
Like, I kind of understand it depending on, well, for example, we know people that live in Georgia that aren't from Georgia, the Republic of Georgia, that don't speak Georgian. And it's like, well, they should learn Georgian. It's like the problem is Georgia's not their home. And they're actually not even trying to make it their home. They're just living there for now. So it's like, why learn this whole nother language when you might just get kicked out anyway? Like, it's when you see it as, I see how...
So it's like people who came here legally, why learn the English language?
People who came here what way?
Illegally. It's like, why learn the English language if you might just get kicked out anyways?
Yeah, and I'm just going to hang out with my own people and chatter with them instead of learning your language to chat with you. And
yeah, it's like, well, we kind of, yeah, that's an interesting way to think about it. I don't know. I think there's you should have to, like, what is it being an American? It's like, well, a big part of that is being able to communicate with everyone as Americans and be part of our system as Americans. And that's
read our
English.
signs.
Read our signs. Read our speed limits. That's important. Yeah, read everything. Read your deportation papers. I don't know. It's just like, yeah, I think being able to speak English is important, and everyone speaks English in basically the whole world. So,
Kind of, yeah.
Almost.
I mean, most people do speak English.
What's interesting is like the bands that were the most popular in Japan in the 80s were all American bands.
Where'd you learn about this?
Chris. And it's true.
Is that true?
Yeah. Which I would, of course, even right now.
Do you know any popular Japanese bands?
No, but Japanese culture definitely has Japanese media has a very big effect on America. Anime,
I guess, yeah, there's a subculture.
More than any other country.
In the entertainment world?
In the entertainment world, for sure.
Probably, I guess, yeah.
K-pop, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, do you know it's K-pop from
Korean.
Japan?
Yeah, okay, well, that's
You
kind
know
of an idea.
that they're completely different, right?
Okay, are they completely different?
They're all the same to you, though, aren't they?
I bet they have a very
and they
similar...
all make up you, don't they? Just because they both eat rice doesn't mean they're all the same.
Yes, Korean, they're different than Japanese, thank you.
Yes.
But anime, yeah, it was like the, like over the summer, like this anime movie was like number 1 or number 2 at the box office for a week. Like imagine a movie, all in Japanese, with subtitles. Imagine a movie coming out in America and all German subtitles, all speaking German with English subtitles.
Right.
And it's like, it's number 1. Like that would be crazy.
Yeah.
But it's not crazy. Clearly, we just love the Japanese, and they love our culture because we're best friends.
Well, we love their vehicles, that's for sure.
That's true.
Honda, Toyota.
Yeah. Right now, the Japanese are a little scared because we're pulling all our troops to Iran.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So, but we're not going to invade on the ground. That'd be silly.
Of Iran?
Yeah, maybe by the time this comes out, we've already done that.
That's true. I'm sure it'll be over by the time this comes out.
You think it'll be
We're ahead
over?
of schedule.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's true. Golly.
Feels like we were just here doing a podcast.
Yeah.
It's weird how it goes.
Time flies.
Time's a weird thing. But whether if it's Japan or Iran or United States, these are nations.
Yeah, and alcohol is bad in all of them.
And Genesis chapter 10 is about nations, right?
We haven't made a Genesis chapter 10 yet.
We're going to get into that today or no?
We probably will. Depends on how long I want to talk about this other thing.
You have notes.
I have notes. Genesis chapter 9, the last little bit.
I was wondering at the last podcast, I thought, Jordan, you didn't finish chapter 9, but there's a reason.
Everything I do has a reason, Hagen. Remember that.
Yeah. So
yeah,
funny.
It is a little funny because it's not true.
At all.
Yeah. Noah made a fool of himself, got drunk, no good. Ham, who's the father of Canaan, which it told us in verse 18, so that's important, makes fun of him, says, hey, guys.
Why do you keep saying that's important?
Because it says it in verse 18 and it says it again.
Yeah, but it's
important.
Are you going somewhere with that?
Well, yeah, I will.
That's
and
what I'm trying to lead you into.
Well, yeah, okay. I thought you were challenging me. I'm sorry.
I'm joking around like, why is that important? You'd be like,
You'll
well, let me
see.
tell you.
You'll
But you're just
see.
like, you idiot. That's it.
Well, I
It's
want
like,
to
okay.
build up. I want people to
Okay.
remember.
Sorry.
And Shem and Japheth, they cover their father, and then Noah
And that's
wakes
important.
up. It is important. But we already talked about that. Verse 24, so Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done to him. Then he said, cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants he shall be to his brethren. Josh, you might be thinking, wait a second, cursed be Canaan? Is Canaan the one that made fun of his dad? Is Canaan the one that said, hey, brothers, come check out daddy's naked? No, it was Canaan's papa, Ham. So Noah wakes up from his nap, and his first reaction is to curse Ham's son, Canaan. And that's just no matter what, that's just kind of a weird thing. And the Bible doesn't exactly, I have a theory that we're going to get into, but it's like, why does he do that? Why does he curse Canaan? Verse 26 says, and he said, blessed be the God of Shem, and may Canaan be a servant, and may God enlarge Japheth, and may he dwell in the tents of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. And Noah lived after the flood 350 years. So all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. So Noah curses Canaan, and then he blesses Shem and Japheth for covering his nakedness. And part of their blessing is that Canaan is going to be his servants, or that Canaan's going to be underneath them. Shem is the line that we're going to get Abraham from later. So that's going to be important.
The Jews?
The Jews, yes. I'm probably from Shem. Interesting thing about Shem is that when we use the term anti-Semite, that word doesn't necessarily mean anti-Jew. It means Semite is the same thing as Shem, so anti-Shemite. That's what it kind
We
of
prefer anti-Shemite.
Yeah.
People are like, what are you saying?
Yeah.
It's the proper way.
Semite just means from Shem. That's what the term means. So when the Nazis were anti-Semite, it included the Jews, but it would also be anyone who's being seen from Shem's line, which is the Jews, but also some other people groups,
which
we'll
is
get into in Genesis chapter 10.
Which is interesting because the land is Canaan,
Yes.
the promised land that becomes
Before it was
Israel.
conquered, yes, it was called
So
Canaan.
the Shemites go and conquer the land from the Canaanites
Yes, and
that
the
God
Canaanites
promised
do
them.
become their servants in some of the instances.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a prophecy right there.
That is what that is.
Yeah. And then Japheth just means enlarge. So when verse 27 says, may God enlarge Japheth. Is that funny, Josh?
I've been Japhething lately.
Been enlarging. That's right. Good job. I was talking to someone about abs. It's like we have in our idea, like abs, you have to they have to be like super visible all the time, like in the movies. But that's not healthy. Like you have to starve yourself. Like abs are a mindset. No, it's just like, you don't be so hard on yourself. I bet all three of us probably have abs.
Oh, sure. I mean,
Yeah.
abdominal muscles
We have
exist
them,
on
but just
everyone.
like it's just like
Covered
don't be
by fat.
Don't be so rough on your. No, it's like like when you look in your like you can see them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on.
I believe you. Do you know there's more people with abs in the let me say it the other way. There's more millionaires in the US than people with abs.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That shows how good our economy is.
That's right.
Yeah.
That shows how misleading my Instagram feeds are. Reels. All I see is these guys with abs, and it's like you think they're all over the place, but they're not as much.
Yeah.
People think body image only applies to girls, but it's not true. Body shaming can apply to boys too.
Yes. I'm sorry about that, Hagen. Your body's beautiful, Hagen.
Thank you.
Yes.
Josh has a beautiful body too.
We all do. Yes. Yes.
You do too, Jordan.
Thank you. Canaan.
This is important.
This is important because this might just hold the key. This just might be the answer to one of the biggest mysteries in the entire book of Genesis.
Which is verse 25, or is that your point?
This might be the answer. The big mystery is something we already kind of talked about back in Genesis chapter 6, when it said there were giants in those days and afterwards. There was giants before the flood, Nephilim before the flood.
Do you know about this real quick?
Familiar a little bit.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Genesis chapter 6, the sons of God see the daughters of men, go into them, and they produce these mighty warriors, these giants, these Nephilim. And they were the rulers of the earth before the flood. That's one of the reasons why God wanted to wipe out them, because they were just so wicked. This idea, before we get too ahead of ourselves,
I was worried about that.
all ties back to, yeah, I was too. All ties back to Genesis chapter 3, which we already talked about, where there's the first prophecy of Jesus, where it talks about the seed of the woman is going to crush the seed of the serpent. And there's going to be war between the seed of the woman and the seed of the serpent. And when you read the Old Testament, you see this battle between Satan's descendants and Eve's descendants, humanity, leading to Jesus, the line of Jesus, and then the seed of the serpent. There's this war going on. Genesis 6, the seed of the serpent is identified as these fallen angels, as these literal half human, half demonic monstrosities, offspring of them, literally seed of serpent. God wipes them out, but you keep on reading the Bible, and there's giants again. You get to
How'd they get there?
How'd they get there? That is a big question. I think this might just be the answer right here.
Verse 25?
I think this the section.
Oh, this section.
The section. Because who was on the ark? Well, Noah and his wife, and we read in Genesis that their genealogy, they were perfect in their generations. They were good. They did not have any fallen giant DNA in them, and they have their three boys who would also be good, perfect in their generations: Shem, Ham, and Japheth. But who else do we have? We have their wives. We have Shem's wife, Japheth's wife, and Ham's wife. Now, we don't know.
And that is our official names.
Yes, yeah, as far as we know. We don't know if their generations are perfect. So the theory, and this is a theory, but I think it all ties together. The theory is that we see that Shem and Japheth have a godly character and would have chosen godly wives who are not half or infected with the Nephilim DNA, but maybe Ham didn't. Ham chose a wife who would maybe be part of a family that was affected by this giant DNA.
What's that say about who you choose to marry?
It's important. Very, very
Right,
important.
Joshua?
It is important.
Probably the biggest choice outside of choosing Jesus.
Is who you choose to marry. And so through Ham's wife, we're not saying that Ham's wife was a giant or was a Nephilim, but she might have had the genetics in her, because through Ham's wife, we get Canaan, and Noah curses Canaan, and then all the giants that we see in the Bible, every single one traces back to Canaan, all of them. You don't see giants anywhere else except from the line of Canaan.
Well, we all have a little bit of Canaan in us.
Maybe. Maybe. But we see that that's how. Why are there giants in the promised land, in the land of Canaan? Well, because they all came from Canaan. Now, Noah might have been aware of this, because maybe Ham and his wife have a kid. They have 2 kids, actually, or they have a couple, and one of them is Canaan, and maybe Canaan is a little larger. Maybe Canaan has maybe 6 fingers. Maybe Canaan gives off some giant factors. It's like, oh, this kid is like, he's a remnant of the Nephilim. And so Noah knows this, so he curses Canaan instead of cursing Ham. He sees that this kid is going to continue on what God wanted to destroy, and so he curses him at this moment. That's the theory.
That's interesting.
Yes. And I could... Should we keep going?
Do you have more?
Well, I just have this idea with...
Well, I just have a yeah, but.
Okay, what's your yeah?
It's like if the Nephilim is bad enough that God's going to flood the earth in Genesis chapter 6 to destroy everyone but Noah and his family. God definitely knows Canaan's wife has Nephilim genes. Why does she get to go on the ark if destroying the Nephilim's that big of a deal to God?
That's a good question, because she chose to get on the ark, and so she was saved. Yeah. We know, yeah, it's just like, that's what she definitely got on the ark. We know that, and this is kind of where this all ties in, like, we know that Canaan, from them comes the giant tribes.
Do you think there's a difference between
The Nephilim.
post-flood Nephilim and pre-flood
I would definitely
Nephilim?
imagine so. Yeah, I think it's, yeah, I'm not saying that Canaan was half demon or whatever, or his sons were, but they
Just like a
definitely were
quarter.
able to keep the traits that was from.
Let's put it this way. He's probably more demon than I am Chinese.
Maybe. Maybe. That's out of context. That's very interesting statement.
Listen to last week.
Yeah. You don't know what Hagen's saying. Yeah, I think the traits survived. I don't think that Goliath was as big as the Nephilim before the flood. I think there's probably a distinction there, because as you go down, and the traits would get more and more diluted, but they would still be around. And it's interesting, as you keep on reading Genesis, these giants come back even in Genesis.
Canaan's a human being, though, just to be clear.
He's a human being,
Yeah.
yes. But in Genesis chapter 14, we read about how there's these giant tribes popping up in Canaan already, from Canaan, from his descendants, and the Babylonians come and wipe them out. So it seems that God's aware that Ham's wife had this genetic thing, but God is doing a very good job of keeping these giant tribes in check, even in Genesis chapter 14. We keep on reading.
Oh, you got more to say. Well, it's just like Canaan, like I alluded to earlier, the promised land. When they send Joshua and Caleb into Canaan, what do they report back?
That they were giants.
Yeah.
Numbers
So it's like even all that time later, which
Yeah.
is, I don't know, but what, 1,000 years probably? Maybe not that much, but I
maybe
bet
not
so.
that much, because from Abraham to it was only like 400 years, so maybe like almost like 600 years maybe.
Yeah.
But Numbers 13:31, this is what the spies say. But the men who had gone up with him said, "We are not able to go up against the people." The context is they're on the edge of the promised land. They send in 12 spies. The 12 spies come back. 10 of them give a bad report. And they say, "We're not strong enough to go up against this people, for they are stronger than we." And they gave the children of Israel a bad report of the land which they had spied out, saying, "The land through which we have gone as spies is a land that devoured its inhabitants. And all the people whom we saw in it are men of great stature." There we saw the giants, and that term is Nephilim, or the descendants.
Did you know that? That the term is Nephilim?
Should I
Let's
just keep?
Yeah, just
Oh,
okay.
sorry. Josh doesn't like the interrupting.
Oh, is that Hagen
I'm not
interrupts
used
me?
to that.
Oh,
No,
that
the
me intro.
podcast interrupting thing.
I'm sorry.
I should just let you speak, is what Josh is trying to tell me, I think.
Maybe. The descendants of Anak came from the giants. It says, hey, we saw the giants, we saw the Anakim, and then the parenthesis says the descendants of Anak came from the giants. Same, Moses wrote all 5 of these books. So for Moses, this is in the context of, hey, I'm writing about these giants in chapter 6. I'm writing Numbers chapter 13. The descendants of Anak came from the giants. How did they come from the giants? Well, the only way is through Ham's wife. And we were like grasshoppers in our own sight. And so we are in their sight. So Anakim, and again, you read Genesis and you get to where Sarah dies, and Abraham goes and buries Sarah in Kirch Arba, or the city of Arba. Joshua tells us that Arba is the father of Anak, who's the mightiest of the giants. Arba is connected again when you get to Genesis chapter 10. Arba connects to Heth, who connects to Canaan. So you can just read Genesis and Joshua, and you get this direct line from Canaan to Heth to Arba to Anak. And you just kind of follow this line, and Anakim is basically the main of all the giant tribes.
Sheesh.
Yep. So we see that. Deuteronomy chapter 10 is another interesting verse about giants that we see from Moses. Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 10 says, verse 11, that makes more sense. It says this, then the Lord said to me, arise, begin. Hagen, I think my notes are wrong.
It happens.
Yeah, no, Deuteronomy chapter 2. That
Oh.
makes way more sense. Silly me.
2 verse 10.
Yeah, Josh has really got me all flustered. 2:10. The Emim had dwelt there in times past. The Emim. That's a giant tribe. As people as great and numerous and as tall as the Anakim. They were also regarded as giants like the Anakim, but the Moabites called them Emim. So we see this another giant tribe, similar to Anakim. They kind of go by a different name from the
Same
Moabites.
height.
Same height. And we see them in the land as well. And that word for giants is interesting because that word giants doesn't go back to Nephilim. It goes to Rephaim. And when you get to Isaiah chapter 17, that word's going to pop up, which is this week, right? Or this week
Isaiah
past.
17.
Yeah, which Isaiah are you in?
I'm looking at 21, 22, and 23.
Oh, did you already pass it?
I guess so.
Ah, no. Dang it.
Sheesh.
I guess I'm behind. My bad. Rephaim is interesting, though, because Rephaim can also translate to the dead ones, which is...
Oh, the Valley of the Giants.
Yeah.
I referenced that in Isaiah
Yeah,
17.
good.
Okay,
The
yeah.
Valley of the Giants, or the Valley of the Dead Ones, because even in their minds, they would realize that these giants died and turned into demons. And these Rephaim are the descendants of these dead ones, so who are giants.
Wait a minute. Say that again. In their minds, what?
The giants died and turned into demons.
So do you think the giant, do you think if is Goliath a demon?
No, he's a descendant of the dead ones.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't think Goliath's a demon right now.
Okay.
Yeah, but his traits, the traits from the dead
His
ones.
traits are demonic.
Yeah, I think so. 6 fingers and super tall and massive.
Just because you have 6 fingers doesn't mean you're a demon.
Maybe. Now, this is where it gets good. So we have this whole idea of these giants in Canaan. God keeps them small in Genesis chapter 14, but it's not
Small, not in height, but
but
in numbers.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, he's not pressing them down. God sends Moses, who kills some of the giants. Moses kills Og, king of Bashan. He's the guy with the really big bed. That's kind of famous. He's also from the Anak. He's from the Rephaim, I think. Joshua kills a lot of the giants, and then Caleb kills the last of the giants that were living in Kirth Arba, that place where Sarah's buried. That's where Caleb goes, and he kills these last amount of giants. And then in Joshua chapter 11, verse 21 and verse 22, we read, at that time, Joshua came and cut off the Anakim from the mountains, from Hebron, from Debar, from Anab, and all the mountains of Judah, and from all the mountains of Israel. Joshua utterly destroyed them with their cities. None of the Anakim were left in the land of the children of Israel. They remained only in Gaza, in Gath, and Ashdod. They remained only in this tiny little corner in the map of Israel. What people come out of Gaza later on in Israel's history?
Goliath.
The Philistines.
Oh, Philistines. Yes.
And it seems like that the last of the giant remnants go in here, and it would almost make sense. You can kind of read it that Goliath would be the last of the giants. Goliath and his 3 brothers. And so when David fights off against Goliath, it's literally David, who's the seed of the woman, the ultimate, well, not the ultimate, but he's going to be the ultimate, the picture of Jesus, fighting against the seed of the serpent, and David crushes him, defeats him, chops off his head. So I really just like that picture of Goliath, the last of the seed of the serpent, versus David, and David takes him out.
So that's why there's none today.
That's why, yeah, except for the basketball players.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Goliath would seem to be, we don't see any more after Goliath. It seems like after that, the genetics just disperse so much that's not even a factor anymore.
Well, we all have a little Nephilim in us.
Maybe. Maybe. The traits survived, not the demonic part. The traits survived. That's how I would describe it. Yeah, it's very interesting.
So all that you're trying to tell us is why that's embarrassing. Why Noah curses Canaan instead of Ham?
Yeah.
Verse 25.
Because Canaan was a little bit of a giant. Yeah.
A little bit of a giant.
Yep.
That's funny.
Yeah. It all connects.
You sound like Candace Owens.
Oh, that's an insult. Yeah.
No, that's interesting.
It's interesting. Goliath's a picture of the Antichrist. You know why, Josh?
Why is that?
Because he was 6 cubits tall. He had 6 pieces of armor. And guess how much his weight? Guess how many shekels his spear weighed? 7. No, 6. 666.
Wow.
Goliath's a picture of the Antichrist defeated by a picture of Jesus Christ, David. Wow. So you can really read that story with a lot of good pictures in it. Which means maybe the Antichrist might be the resurgence of this Nephilim messed up stuff. Maybe. Some would say. Some would argue.
As it was in the days of Noah. Interesting.
So that's my case with that. But we can keep going into Genesis chapter 10.
That's interesting. What do you think about this?
I have a couple questions about
yes, let me
chapter
hear
9
Josh.
before chapter 10.
Okay.
Because that's where it is. It says in verse 18, at the end of verse 18 in chapter 9, and Ham was the father of Canaan. And I'm curious, do you know how much time went by from when they got off the ark until Noah became drunk? And if Canaan was born yet then? Because in chapter 10 it says, these were the sons born to them after the flood, and were there any born on the ark of Noah's grandsons?
We don't know if any were born on the ark. That's a good question.
Because these ones were born after the flood, but that kind of almost implies that all of them were born after the
Yeah,
flood.
it would almost imply that all the kids were born after. What do you think, Hagen?
Well, it seems like that once the boat lands, it's enough time for him to grow a vineyard.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in that first
probably a lot of time.
season, I don't think years, but in that first season of I land, I'm establishing, I'm doing my homestead, I grow my vineyard, I make some alcohol, and I get drunk.
Yeah.
That seems to be the
maybe in the first
reading.
5 years.
I think the first year of the season of him growing things. But then...
well, it doesn't say that he planted a vineyard right away.
And is Canaan necessarily...
And also, how long does it take for those to grow? Think about that.
Well, I don't know, 6 months. I mean, how long does it take a baby to grow? 9 months. So grapes aren't that complex.
Grapes aren't that complex.
But then also, is Canaan the firstborn of Ham? Because if they're in birth order, it doesn't look like it in chapter 10.
Sheesh. Well, it would imply that Canaan is already born because verse 18, now the sons of Noah who were on the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and Ham was the father of Canaan. So it seemed to be, I mean, you could say that Moses is writing from the future, so he knows that this is going to happen later, but it seems to point it out as a factor there already. So from that, I would assume that Canaan is already born.
But Canaan's not on the ark. It's the point you're trying to make and you're trying to make, right?
Canaan's not on the ark, exactly. And you're also assuming, Hagen, that this is the first season that he gets alcohol, which kind of goes into your idea that we talked about last time.
No, this is not the first time season he gets alcohol. Around. Here's what I know. There was no alcohol in the ark.
It doesn't say that.
I know. It doesn't say he took any. But
yeah.
I'm kidding about that. But the point that I think Josh is making
you translate between us.
There has to be enough time for Canaan to be born. Is that what you're trying to say?
It's a question.
Because he's not on the ark Everyone
Yeah.
agrees on that.
Yeah.
It wasn't Noah's grandkids weren't on the ark, presumably.
No.
There was only 8
No.
people, which was.
So I'm saying that there's probably more time than more
or
than
you're
a year.
forcing more time to make
No,
Canaan
I'm not
be
forcing
born.
more year. I'm just saying, like, why does it have to be only like the first time he plants a vineyard and the first time he gets alcohol, he gets drunk?
It just seems that way when you read it, but
Well, it's just like, as soon as he got alcohol, he just drank it right away and got drunk? I think he probably had a bunch. Years go by, and then after a while, he's like, "Oh, here, I'm gonna drink some."
I don't know.
Yeah,
And why Canaan?
it
of
does
all
seem
the
in verse
sons of
18
Ham,
that Canaan's
To
born.
be mentioned,
Yeah.
or to be cursed.
to be cursed.
Why is Canaan what?
Why aren't the other sons of Ham cursed if they have the same mom? How come it's Canaan?
Because maybe Canaan has the signs of being a
Okay.
giant, the dominant traits.
They were just kind of hereditary. What's the other word besides dominant? Possessive and recessive.
Recessive and dominant.
They were just recessive in the other ones.
Yeah.
Is that a fair question?
I think it's a fair question. Yeah.
I mean, how come Canaan's the guy?
Because he's the
When he
one
has
that seems like
siblings.
he's the giant. He's gonna carry it on. It's like he's the one with like the 6 fingers and the green eyes or whatever. The evil eyes.
Blue eyes?
I don't know what color eyes. That's a good question though.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Genesis chapter 10
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily, in the same way that we've kind of seen in Genesis before, there's events and then there's a summary kind of a thing or a catch up.
Yeah.
Genesis chapter 10 in the timeline is not necessarily where Canaan's born. Right.
No.
Which is
Right,
something that
yeah.
maybe is being asked about as well.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, it's not saying Canaan would probably already be born and all the other kids are probably having kids. All these guys are probably old or But you're right, they only 8 went on the ark, so maybe they waited to have kids until after. But yeah, Genesis chapter 10 is not necessarily in chronological order because we'll see that when we get to Genesis chapter 11. It all kind of it's a little out of order, but it all connects. Man, Genesis chapter 10 is a fun chapter to read. Hagen, how about you read it?
Yeah, Hagen likes these sort of
Yeah, Hagen loves
passages
his
with
reads.
names.
Yep.
Now, this is the genealogy of the sons of Noah Shem, Ham, and Japheth, the sons who were born to them, and sons who were born to them after the flood. That's the tricky part, which we all agree they were born after the flood, actually, so it's not too tricky.
These ones were.
These ones, yeah. Verse 2. The sons of Japheth were Gomer, Magog,
Russia.
Madai, Javan,
Greece.
Tubal,
Maybe that's Greece. I forget.
Meshech, and Tiraz. The sons of Gomer were Ashkenaz,
Ashkenazi Jews.
maybe, Riphath, and Tagarmar.
That's good.
The sons of Javan are Elisha,
Tarshish.
Tarshish,
Britain. Maybe.
Kiddaman, and Dodanium. From these, the coastland peoples of the Gentiles were separated into the lands, everyone according to his language, according to their families, and to their nations.
Which is telling us that this is happening after Genesis chapter 11.
Right.
'Cause they
We'll
all have
learn
one
more about
language,
that
yeah.
in Genesis 11.
Yep.
Verse 6, the sons of Ham were Cush, Mizram, Put, and Canaan. The sons of Cush were Seba, Havilah, Sabta, Ramam, and Sabtekchan. The sons of Ramam were Sheba and Dedan. Cush begot Nimrod. We'll see more of him too.
Yeah.
Cush
Not really, but-
begot Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one on the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Therefore it is said, like Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord.
Wait, Josh, I have a
He
question.
is the king of
I'm thinking about
Babylon.
this. It's like you're saying that Noah might have cursed Canaan even though Canaan wasn't born yet?
I didn't say that. That was a question.
Yeah,
Kinda
I
like,
just don't know.
Was it a prophecy kind of like,
Why would you name your kid something that you know God's going to curse, though?
right. Yeah.
Yeah, and how do you know which one's Canaan if they're not born yet?
Yeah, and was Canaan the firstborn?
No, he was probably the fourth born.
Okay.
Yeah, but
So it was quite a while then, probably, if these were born
probably
after
a little
the
bit,
flood.
yeah.
And
Not
Canaan
according to
was already
Hagen, it has to be
born.
1 year, but
Could be.
I think it's probably quite a while.
Maybe there were quadruplets. They could have all been born at once.
And one was just
we
way
don't
bigger.
know. Yes.
One had 6 fingers and was really chunky. That's the giant. Okay, I'm sorry. I was just thinking about that, but keep going.
No, yeah.
I wanted to be able to get that out so I could really focus on
So
this.
Nimrod, he begins to be a mighty one on the earth.
Mighty hunter, yes.
And he was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Therefore, it is said, like Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord.
Yeah.
And
I have it written in my Bible, before the Lord could translate like in the face of the Lord. Like not in the sense of like before the Lord as a good thing, but like kind of like in defiance against the Lord. Or like kind of like, I'm going to do my own thing in the face of the Lord. Yeah.
Right, because he is actually, and he began of the kingdom. His beginning was of the kingdom of Babel.
Yeah, so he does Babylon.
Nimrod's the first king of Babel. He just does this thing. We'll learn more about Babel in next time in chapter 11, which I think might be a portal. But we'll talk about that. Which sounds crazy, but it's not.
I'm crazy.
It's not crazy.
Just wait till Hagen.
I actually think a lot of these things are portals. I think maybe the pyramids and Machu Picchu, and I think these things are more spiritual. Or maybe I should say this: or these things are not just physical; they're spiritual.
Yeah, I think so.
Enrich Akkad and Callan to the land of Shinar. From the land, he went to Assyria, and he built Nineveh.
This guy's a busy little bee.
Rehoth, Ir, and Kala.
Do you think that's like pre-Babel and then after Babel? Like
When he
builds Babel, and then verse 11, from that land he went. Like after the languages were dispersed, then he went to Assyria. Maybe.
Yeah, that makes sense. And reason between Nineveh and Kala, that is the principal city. Mizram begot Liddim,
Anam,
Laabim, Naphtahim, Pathramis, and Kalahiam, from whom came the Philistines and the Kaphaturim. Canaan begot Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth. You were talking about Heth earlier?
Yeah, Heth goes, and then when you get to Genesis chapter... when Sarah dies, 23, Sarah lived 127 years. These were the years of the life of Sarah. So Sarah died in Kirth Arba, or the city of Arba, who's the father of Anakim. That is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. And Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. Then Abraham stood up from before his dead, and spoke to the sons of Heth. So the sons of Heth live in the city of Arba. So Arba is a Hethite. So from Canaan, Hethian. Canaan, Heth, Arba, Anakim. That's the line. That's the change.
Did you get that?
Wow.
Can you repeat that,
crazy.
actually? Canaan,
Heth,
Arba,
Anakim.
makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Verse 16. The Jebusites, the Amorites, and the Girgashites, the Hivites, these sound kind of familiar, some of these ites now, because they come up later.
Yep.
The Archarites and the Sinites, which is what we are before Jesus. We were all Sinites. The Arvadites, the Zamorites, the Hamathites. Afterwards, the families of the Canaanites were dispersed. And the borders of the Canaanites was from Sidon as you go towards Gerar, as far as Gaza. Then, as you go towards Sodom, Gomorrah, Admar, Zebulun, and Lasha. These were the sons of Ham, according to their families, according to their languages, in their lands and in their nations. And the children were born also to Shem, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, the elder. The sons of Shem were Elam,
What about that?
Well, Elam, the Elam is the name for Iran in the Old Testament. I wonder if that's that.
Maybe.
The sons of Shem were Elam,
You have to look that up.
Asherah, Arphaxad, Lud, Aram. The sons of Aram were Uz. Aram.
That's what to say. Aram.
Uz, Hul, Gether, and Mash.
Potatoes.
Arphaxad begot Salah, and Salah begot Eber. To Eber were born two sons. The name of the one was Peleg, for he is his, for in his days the earth was divided. And his brother's name was Joktan.
Maybe
What's
that's
that mean?
maybe that's talking about the Tower of Babel. Or some people think it could be talking about Pangea.
You know about Pangea?
Not too familiar with that.
Like at all, or
I've heard it, I think.
like the idea of the continent was all
okay,
together?
Yeah, it
and
looks
then,
like it
'cause
on the map.
like
whenever you
puzzle
look at
pieces
it, yeah.
almost. And then in his day, the land was divided, maybe an earthquake or something that divided up. And
It could be. Or it could just be Babel. That
It
would
could
make
be.
sense too.
It could be that too. Yeah. Or it could be everyone was just fighting during this day
Maybe.
and they were just divided.
Spiritually divided.
That's right. Joktan begot Almadad, Shalef, Hazmapheth, Jerar, Hadram, Uzal, Dikla, verse 28, Opal, Abimal, Sheba, Orphan, Havilah, Jabab. All these were the sons of Joktan. And their dwelling place was from Mesha as you go towards Sephar, the mountains of the east. These were the sons of Shem, according to the family. Shem. When you just get in this groove of the way you pronounce words and you're like, that's a normal word. Why did I say it like that?
Yeah, Shem's a normal word.
These were the sons of Shem, according to their families, according to their languages, in their land, according to their nations. These were the families of the sons of Noah, according to their generations, in their nations, and from these the nations were divided on the earth after the flood.
Wow, good job, Hagen. Imagine having to teach a whole Bible study on that chapter.
That's right.
That'd be interesting.
Hagen's done that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So what'd you learn?
There's a lot of names.
And isn't it great? There's never like the second, the third. They're
They're
just
all original?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I don't want to be. Yeah. I don't know. We'll move on from that. What were they going to say? Apparently, this is a very accurate genealogy. People say it's the most accurate ancient genealogy that we have.
Really?
That's what people say.
Hey,
I can improve it.
do you agree?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Nice.
Yeah. Like as far as ancient peoples and how they would have actually spread out, like this seems to be pretty on point. So that's good.
That is good.
Yeah. This is one of the chapters where it's just like there's not too much spiritual application, but it's just important because the Bible does have history in it. So it's just like this is history. This is what happened.
His story.
Yeah. His amen. His story. Yeah.
Chapter 11 next time.
Should we?
Good stuff. Next time. Yeah.
Next time? Okay.
Some of us want to go to lunch, Jordan.
Sheesh. What time is it?
Almost 1.
Oh my goodness. You're right. Golly. What was your favorite name in that chapter 10, Josh?
That's a good question. There was quite a few names in here.
Aram.
I'll have to think about that one. Maybe next time. I think.
Okay.
It'll be a while probably before I'm here, though.
Josh, I think you should come on again with us next time.
I don't think I'll be here.
Sheesh.
I'm going to be
He's
gone.
in Kenya.
I
I'll be in
know, I
Kenya,
know.
Yeah. And then
Sounds like he's making
probably
an
the next
excuse,
two
though.
times. No, I'd like to come back.
Well, when he
Okay.
comes back, we'll talk to him about his trip.
That's a
Yeah.
good idea. Yeah. Mission report.
And maybe about the different nations getting spread out over the world.
Yeah.
Maybe one
That's a good
that I'm
one.
going to go see will be one of these.
Do you want us to wait? To
No,
talk about
no.
that,
You
or-
go ahead and talk about it.
Okay. We don't
You
want to
just
get ahead of you.
explain
Where'd you
why
get
we're
that
all
blue
different.
Bible, Josh?
That's what I asked him.
I think it was on christianbook.com.
You just saw and was like, I want it.
It was like a
Like a name engraved?
Yeah,
that's
but they didn't
cool.
do it right, so they just crossed it out, and then they had it on a deal section.
Like a discount?
Oh,
But
really?
all the pages and everything are just right. So
Oh,
Just-
they just crossed out their misspelled name.
yeah, it's okay.
That makes sense. How much did that cost you?
I'd have to look. I can't
Probably
remember.
not very much, you'd hope.
Probably half price on a new
Yeah.
one.
Probably half of what you paid for
Just
yours.
still new.
Yeah, probably.
Yours is falling apart.
You know what they say? If your Bible's
You know
falling
what they say,
apart,
if your Bible's falling apart, you
your
probably
life's
don't
not.
respect it.
no.
You probably leave it laying around everywhere.
No. If your Bible's falling apart, your life's not. That's what they say.
Yes.
I could probably, yeah, I don't know. It's working good.
I'm
still.
surprised you like that.
This one?
Yeah.
Why?
One, it's in paragraph form, which is extremely confusing to me.
Really?
Yeah, like it's to me, it's hard to find verses. Literally, each new line is a verse in here, so it's very easy to reference. Like I would get lost in that teaching and stuff but you do it all the time.
I do it often.
That's crazy.
Very
Do
often.
you see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and I mean this one has red for the numbers of each verse.
Which even helps just stand
Yeah.
out more.
Well, I just like the margins because I'm able to write more.
Right.
Yeah, able to get more information in here. Some just little things of gold that I have written in here. Little nuggets of truth.
And some of them, it's like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
It's like, what does that mean?
What was I thinking? I said, pray.
It's like, okay.
Amen.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
is this it?
This is it. See you guys later. Thanks so much for watching.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Maybe by the time you see us next, we'll be in a new studio. Bye.
Whoa.